is that? What is the remaining portion? The main remaining portion is softening of water. What are the softening of water? There are two methods are there: external methods, internal methods. Then what are the different external methods? Lime soda process, ion exchange method, zeolite process. Then what are the internal methods? Colgan conditioning, carbonate conditioning, colloidal conditioning, phosphate conditioning. These type of things are there in the internal treatment. Then after that, okay, some numericals are there from lime soda process. How we are going to calculate those things, that I am going to cover this much portion. So my portion is very okay. That this is a lengthy portion, but that is simple. That my portion is softening of water. Okay, Sumran Kumar, please mute your mic. Please, everybody has to be very careful. I'm not going to give these type of instructions every time. Be sincere in the class. Don't be naughty. Don't disturb the class. Don't think that I'm so clever. If I will do anything, if I can do anything, nobody can trace me. Okay, don't be okay in such ideology. Okay, now everything whosoever are doing, they would be traced. If anything is happened here, so they 100% they are going to be traced. Please be sincere. So what is my topic? Yes, please tell.
Softening of
Softening of
Softening of water.
water.
What is my name? What is my name?
Mr. Santosh.
Yes. Please remember, because as 3 different teachers are there. Yes, Penta sir, Dr. Santosh Penta sir is teaching softening of water, which is okay, present in the unit 1 technology of water. Now, see what is softening of water. The straightforward definition I am discussing. Softening of water means to removal of suspended particles, or otherwise to removal of hardness causing ions. That is called as softening of water. That means water may be having either hardness causing ions. What are the hardness causing ions? Temporary hardness causing ion. That means calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate. Then at the same time, permanent hardness causing ions are there. What are those permanent hardness causing ions? That may be either calcium chloride or magnesium chloride or calcium sulfate or magnesium sulfate. These type of all the salts of calcium and magnesium. And even alkalinity causing ions are also. Alkalinity causing ions means hydroxide ions or bicarbonate ions or carbonate ions. Okay, these type of ions. That means the main definition. What is the definition of softening of water? The straightforward definition is the softening of water is a process of removing all the dissolved salts of calcium and magnesium salts. Okay, this you have to remember. Now, in this softening of water, there are 2 methods are there. What are those 2 methods? Internal methods, external methods. Softening of water is, there are 2 methods are there. Internal methods. Check your connection. We can listen him. Yes, what happened? Yes, Shruti Kashyap. Is
Nothing,
my voice or not?
nothing, sir. One of the students told that he cannot hear the voice of teacher, voice of yours, sir. And
Okay.
she told that
Okay.
check your
So
connection.
my voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Your voice is clearly audible.
Okay. One person has to reply, not required to all. Where we are? Yes, softening of water. Once again, what is softening of water? Straightforward question to answer. Simply to remove. It is a process of removal of all the hardness causing ions, or otherwise all the salts of calcium and magnesium ions. That means normally, majorly, which ions are main contribution of hardness? Calcium and magnesium salts. Either that may be temporary hardness or otherwise permanent hardness. Permanent hardness means chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium ions. And here temporary hardness, bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium ions. Sometimes some other heavy metals may also contribute the hardness. Say for example, aluminum sulfate. Yes, that is also one of the iron related, ferrous sulfate, ferrous hydroxide. These type of heavy metals may also contribute the hardness. So these ions should be removed. That process is called as softening of water. Because earlier, okay, that at the beginning, what is hardness, which ions are causing, then what is alkalinity, which ions are causing alkalinity, what are the boiler troubles. That means sludge, scale, priming, foaming, carryover, corrosion, caustic and brittlement. These are the boiler troubles. So after this, okay, we are coming to new topic, that is the softening of water. That means as already the introduction part was over, so it is in continuation to that, step by step the portion was okay framed. So here we are discussing softening of water. There are two methods are there, internal methods, external methods. See, only the thing is, what is the difference between external methods or internal methods? See, normally what happens, the main sources of water, okay, the either hard water or alkaline water, any crude water, okay, what are the main sources? Either rivers or otherwise oceans or otherwise wells. Okay, simply, okay, these are the okay main sources of the natural water, okay, crude water. Simply what they are doing, they are collecting the water. Then after that, that water may be used for okay different industrial application purpose, industrial applications. So the main industrial application of water is generation of steam. Okay, steam generation. We have to generate the steam from the water. So how we are generating the steam? Okay, we are taking one boiler. What is the boiler? It is one container, simply iron container. Okay, that is made up of iron. And inside of that, okay, simply we are applying high temperature and high pressure. Okay, high temperature. So at high temperature, the water is converting into steam, and that generated steam may be used for other industrial applications or otherwise generation of electricity. This is the major application of water sample or otherwise water, main application. This is the main use of water. Once again, simply, okay, the water may be collected from the natural sources. Then after that, that collected water may be used for the generation of steam. Yes, if the water is collected and directly that water is dumped into boiler. Okay, boiler is a container, just like in our house, some steel containers are there, such type of container, but it is a big container. Okay, in our container, hardly 1 liter or half liter water may be okay stored, but in the okay boiler, almost 1,000 liters of water or otherwise 500 liters of water may be stored. So such type of big storage tanker it is. Nothing but it is a big okay iron vessel where we are keeping the water. Then we are okay heating that water, that is converting into steam. This is the main application of boiler. Boiler, B-O-I-L-E-R, boiler. Now, this is introduction for your understanding I am saying, then I am going to show the PPT, don't worry. Now, see, if the boiler, okay, that water is called as boiler feed water. The water which is ready to fed into boiler, that water is called as boiler feed water. See, always you have to feed the water, feed the okay water inside the boiler. Okay, that should be ultra pure water. Always you have to feed the ultra pure water inside the boiler, or otherwise always you have to fill the boiler with ultra pure water. Ultra pure means that water should not have any hardness causing ions, or otherwise that water should not have any suspended particles. It should not have any alkalinity causing ions. Alkalinity causing ions means either hydroxide ions, carbonate ions, bicarbonate ions, or temporary hardness causing ions, permanent hardness causing ions, or otherwise carbon dioxide gas, or otherwise some other heavy metal ions, or any suspended particles. Okay, they should not be present in the water. That means before feeding the water inside the boiler, the water should be treated. Water should be treated. That means water should be cleaned from all these okay hardness causing ions. So if the treatment is done outside the boiler, that means simply we are collecting the water, then with the help of different chemical methods, we are purifying the water, then we are getting the pure ultra pure water. That ultra pure water is okay sent into the boiler. So this is called as external method. Now I am coming to point. That means the process of softening of water is done outside the boiler. That is called as external method. Please remember carefully. Sometimes at the time of viva examination, we may ask, what is the difference between external methods and internal method? What is the difference? Then see, after removal of all the suspended particles from the water, then the water may be sent into boiler. That means the water may be fed into the boiler. Then say let us assume that 500 liters of ultra pure water is fed into the boiler, that is filled in the boiler. Now what is the main application of boiler? Simply by applying the temperature, that water is converting into steam. We are for the generation of electricity. That is the first and foremost application of water. Now they are doing that due to high temperature. What happens? The water may be evaporated. If any, as the water concentration is reducing, or otherwise some fine particles may be there. Those fine particles may be settled down at the bottom of the boiler, or otherwise inside the boiler. Due to heating, the water may be evaporated. If any soluble ions are there, those soluble ions may convert into precipitates and they may settle down at the bottom of the boiler. So inside the boiler, if such type of any impurities are there, any suspended particles are there, then we are adding some chemicals inside the boiler. Then because of addition of those chemicals, the precipitate or the ions, the suspended ions which are present in the boiler water, they may react with these chemicals. They are converting into precipitates. The precipitates settle down at the bottom of the boiler. Then you can open the door and the concentrated water, you may remove some portion. The suspended particles, you may remove it. Then again you close it. Then you continue the steam generation. That means the process of removal of suspended particles is done inside the boiler. That is called as internal treatment or internal method. Simply what I am saying, softening of water is two types. The first one is external method. Second one is internal method. The external method means the process of removal of suspended particles can be done outside the boiler. Then what is internal method? Internal, that means inside the boiler. After converting the water into steam, when the water concentration is less, so that time some suspended particles or some ions may be generated inside the boiler. So those ions should be removed. If it is not removed, what happens? Yes, there are some boiler troubles are there. That means before this topic, one important topic was there. Actually, that topic is going to be covered by Sagarika madam. What is that? Boiler troubles are there. What are the boiler troubles? Sludge, scale, priming, foaming, carryover, corrosion, caustic embrittlement. These are the boiler troubles. Sludge scale means these suspended particles may strongly adhere to the inner walls of the boiler. Then what happens? The temperature which we are applying, that may not goes to the water sample. That means the boiler should act as a good conductor. But here what happens? If suspended particles are there inside the boiler, if continuous heat is there, after some time you have to remove the concentrated water. If you will not remove it, then you continue heating of that suspended particles water. Then the suspended particles or otherwise the solid substances which are present in the boiler may strongly adhere, may strongly stick to the inner walls of the boiler tube. Then what happens? So let us assume that we are to boil the boiler feed water. We are giving let us assume that 100 degrees centigrade. But because of the as the precipitates are strongly adhered to the inner walls of the boiler, then you have to give the more temperature in order to get the steam generation. If that is the case, what happens? Sometimes sudden explosion may take place. The boiler may get explosion because of the high temperature. It's efficiency of the generation of steam may be reduced because as the heat is not transferring into the water. So these are some of the troubles. Like that, different troubles are there: sludge, scale, priming, foaming, carryover, corrosion, caustic embrittlement. These are the boiler troubles. This topic may be covered by Sagarika madam. So this is about the Okay, what is softening of water? External methods, internal methods. Are up to this topic understood? Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Yes, no, sir.
This topic I covered, nothing else. See, 3 points are there. Today's whole conclusion is 3 points. Softening of water. What is softening of water? Removal of all the suspended particles from the water, or otherwise removal of all the calcium and magnesium salts is called as softening of water. It is a process of removal of all the suspended calcium and magnesium salts. Over. This one line is over. There are 2 types of there softening of water. What are those 2 types? The first one is external method. What is external method? The process of removal of all the calcium and magnesium ions outside the boiler. That means before fed into the boiler, the water can be softened. That softened water is sent into the boiler. That is called as external method. That means before sending the water into boiler, we are purifying it. Then we are filling that ultra pure water inside the boiler. Outside only we are removing all the suspended particles. Then ultra pure water is filled into the boiler. That is the external method. Now internal method. What is internal method? Internal method, inside the boiler, we are adding the chemicals. If any suspended particles are there, they are converted into insoluble precipitates. Once they are converted into precipitates, they may settle down at the bottom of the boiler tube or boiler. Then those precipitates may be removed by partial blowdown operation. Blowdown operation means the partial removal of concentrated water is called as blowdown operation. So with that, if any suspended particles are there, they may be removed. That is the internal. 3 points are there. Bus. Now, what are the external methods? Yes. Now I am coming to point. External methods. There are 3 external methods are there. Zeolite method. Then second one is zeolite or otherwise permutate method. Then second one is ion exchange method is there. Then third one is lime soda process is there. There are 3 methods are there. Yes, one by one, please tell. Zeolite method or otherwise permutate method. Second one, ion exchange method. Third one,
Ion exchange.
lime soda process. Yes. Once again, I am repeating. This is the 3rd time I am repeating. Once again, there are 3 types of external methods are there. What are those 3 types of external methods? Zeolite process, ion exchange method, then lime soda process. Now I am going to start, okay, zeolite method. What is zeolite method? What are the chemical name of zeolite method? Then how they are, okay, removing all the hardness causing ions from the water sample. That topic I am going to, okay, cover now. Yes. See here, what are the zeolite method? See here, I'm not going to read the line by line what was written here, but what is the whole theme of this concept I am going to explain. What is the chemistry involved in the zeolite method or otherwise permutate method that I am going to explain. See now, here what was written, okay, here zeolite or otherwise permutate process. Here, okay, the formula is here, written here. What is the formula? Na2O.Al2O3 SiO2 or YH2O. That means the general name of zeolites, okay, hydrated sodium aluminosilicates are called as zeolites. Once again, I am saying, okay, hydrated because here water is there, hydrated sodium aluminosilicate. But the general name of zeolites or the chemical name of zeolites, hydrated sodium aluminosilicates are called as zeolites. That is the chemical name of the zeolites. Now, see here what happened. Oh, here, okay, what is the structure? How they written like this? Okay, they wrote here. You go through this. Okay, don't worry. Now, see here, majorly, okay, here what happened? Types of zeolites are there. Natural zeolites, synthetic zeolites. Natural zeolites are there. Different natural zeolites are there. They are the non-porous, amorphous, and durable. What are those? Thompsonite, okay, natrolite, okay, lamonite, okay, lamontite, okay, here harmotome, okay, stilbite, okay, like these different natural zeolites are there. Just this is for your information. You, okay, just you go through it. It is not, nobody are going to ask the questions from this. What are the natural zeolites? What are the synthetic zeolites? For your information purpose, as this topic we are discussing, so let us go through those. Now, what are the synthetic zeolites? They are porous and possess a gel structure. Okay, these are the synthetic zeolites. Synthetic zeolite possess higher exchange capacity per unit weight as compared to natural zeolites. Yes. Okay, here which are more efficient, natural zeolites or otherwise synthetic zeolites? The answer is synthetic zeolites. Synthetic zeolite means man-made chemicals, man-made zeolites. That means the zeolites which were synthesized in the lab artificially. Those are the synthetic zeolites. Natural zeolite means which are naturally available under the earth crust. Okay, that is the natural zeolites. But here synthetic zeolites are more efficient because they are having the more porous. Porous means small holes are there, so the filtration may be done very efficiently. Now see here, what is the process of softening of water? What is the chemistry involved in the zeolite process? See, once again I am saying, see here what is the chemistry is. See here we are representing the zeolites as a Na2Ze. What is it? Why Na2Ze? That means sodium zeolites. Hydrated sodium aluminosilicates are zeolites. So here sodium zeolite is there. How we are going to do the sodium zeolite? See, what is the chemical formula of zeolite? Na2O, Al2O3, SiO2, YH2O. Here, this whole formula I am representing in the form of Na2Ze. Na2 I am writing outside. Okay, then Ze means that Ze stands for zeolite. The zeolite means the remaining portion, remaining insoluble material is called as that represented with zeolite. Hello. Okay. Okay. No problem. See, we are extending the submission of full paper dates. Okay. Yes, we are giving that. We are going to update it. So, which journal you would like to publish? According to that author guidelines, you make it. Transform your paper, convert that paper. Okay, we would let you know. Are you there in the WhatsApp group? The conference WhatsApp group? Yes. Please. Okay, one class is going on. Okay, please call me after some time. Yes, we are going to update all the things in the website. Okay. 15 days, approx 15 days. See here, I am representing this total hydrated aluminosodium silicates like Na2Ze. Na2 means sodium ions. Ze means the remaining insoluble material. That means Al2O3, XSiO2 and YH2O. Why I am representing like this? Because in the sodium zeolite, in the sodium zeolite, whether here, this diagram is very small. Okay, let us, I am improving this size for time being for this purpose. See, before going to that, what is happening the chemistry? Now, see, this is the setup. This is the zeolite softener. One cylindrical chamber is there. In this cylindrical chamber, what is happening? We are fixing the sodium zeolite bed. That means zeolite bed at the center of this cylindrical chamber. Then before that, one fine gravel sand is there. Then coarse sand is there. Sand filter is kept below of this zeolite bed. Once again, the cylindrical chamber or otherwise that cylindrical container is having the zeolite bed. Then just below of the zeolite bed, sand filter is there for the removal of any suspended particles from the water sample. Now, here what happened? What is the chemistry involved here? Here simply the hot water is percolated above of the zeolite bed. Percolated means simply the hard water, the natural water. Natural water means either the source may be rainwater, or otherwise river water, or otherwise that may be collected from ocean or wells, any type of water, okay, which may be having the suspended particles, the crude water. So that crude hard water is percolated on the surface of the zeolite bed. See here, percolated means it is sprayed on the zeolite bed. Then what happens when that percolated water, when it is passing through the sodium zeolite bed, then what happens? Sodium zeolite, here how I represented the structure, Na2Ze. Sodium ions are there. Sodium ions are readily exchanged with hardness causing cations. Please remember this logic. How it is acting as a removal of hardness causing cations. That is readily exchanged with sodium ions. See here, sodium zeolite is there. Let us assume that. Okay, we would be taking one example. Let us assume that the hard water is having only calcium bicarbonate ion. Let us assume that the water is having only calcium bicarbonate ions only. Calcium bicarbonate. So that calcium bicarbonate ions, when they are passing through the zeolite bed, then what happens? The calcium ions. See here in the sodium zeolite, sodium ions are readily exchanged with hardness causing cations. Readily exchanged with hardness causing cations. That means sodium ions are exchanged with cations. So calcium bicarbonate, when it is go through the sodium zeolite, sodium ions are exchanged with calcium ions. So that is nothing but calcium zeolite is going to be produced. Then sodium ions and as well as bicarbonate may be in the resultant of the water. That means the water is passing through the sand filter. If any suspended particles are there, any floating materials are there, they are retained here and normal purified water may come down. The purified water may be having the sodium ions and at the same time bicarbonate ions. These bicarbonate anions are resultant of calcium bicarbonate. So here the principle is in the zeolite bed, the sodium ions are readily exchanged with hardness causing cations. If magnesium bicarbonate is there, let us assume that if magnesium bicarbonate is there alone in the hard water sample, when the magnesium bicarbonate water is passing through the zeolite bed, the sodium ions are readily exchanged with magnesium ions. Then the magnesium zeolite is going to be retained there. Then sodium ions are that released into the water sample. So in the resultant water, sodium plus ions are there, and at the same time, anions from the hardness causing substance. That means magnesium bicarbonate is there. So in the resultant water, bicarbonate ions may be there. So this is the main principle involved in the sodium zeolite. So that can be represented here in the chemical reactions. What is the chemistry here? What type of chemical reactions are taking place? By going through these reactions, you can understand thoroughly. See, this is the sodium zeolite. Okay, that means the sodium zeolite bed is kept inside the cylindrical box. So if the water is having calcium bicarbonate, the calcium bicarbonate, when it is passing through the zeolite bed, then what happens? Calcium zeolite. Then sodium ions plus bicarbonate ions. Yes, the sodium bicarbonate ions may react. That may be sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate exists in the form of soluble nature. Okay, that is sodium bicarbonate is not a hardness causing ion. Don't think that sodium bicarbonate is there. That is also one of the ions, so it may create the hardness. No. Sodium bicarbonate is existing in the water sample as a soluble nature. Then second one, if magnesium bicarbonate is there in the water sample, then sodium ions are readily exchanged with hardness causing cations, not anions, cations only. So magnesium zeolite plus sodium bicarbonate, that is the byproduct. Say for example, if calcium chloride is there, yes, that is a permanent hardness causing ion. Then sodium zeolite, when the calcium chloride or permanent hardness causing ion of water is passing through the zeolite bed, then that is going to produce the calcium zeolite plus sodium chloride. Sodium chloride Okay, or here calcium carbonate likha hai, that is wrong. Calcium sulfate. If calcium sulfate is there, then calcium zeolite plus sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate readily soluble in the water. That is existing in the form of soluble nature, soluble ion. Sodium chloride, soluble ion. Sodium bicarbonate, soluble ion. These are not at all contributing the hardness. So those cannot create any boiler troubles. So no problem. So similarly, if magnesium chloride is there, yes, then what happens? That is converted into magnesium zeolite, then sodium chloride. So this is the chemistry. So when the water is passing through the zeolite bed, all the hotness causing ions are converted into readily exchanged with sodium ions which are present in the zeolite. Then they are converted into calcium zeolites or magnesium zeolites. Yes. See, after some time, what happens? The pores, that means the sodium ions which are available in the zeolite bed, all are exhausted. Exhausted means all the sodium ions are exchanged with hardness causing cations. Then what happens? There would be no sodium ions at all. Then the filtration may not be done. So that is the exhausted bed, exhausted zeolite bed. Exhausted zeolite bed means there would be no filtration occur, because all the sodium ions are exchanged with hardness causing cations. That means now the zeolite bed is exhausted, that is having the calcium zeolite or otherwise magnesium zeolite. So what you have to do after some time, stop the filtration. Then you collect the softened water, the ultra pure water. Here one tap is there, open the tap, collect the softened water. Then the softened water may be used for the generation of steam. Now what we have to do, as the zeolite bed is exhausted, then what you have to do, you have to wash with brine solution. 10% of aqueous sodium chloride solution is called as brine solution. Aqueous sodium chloride solution, that is 10%, that is called as brine solution. So when you wash the zeolite bed with brine solution, then what happens? In the brine solution, sodium ions are there. Again, reverse may take place. That means the calcium zeolite or magnesium zeolites again readily exchanged with sodium chloride, sodium ions. Then again the zeolite bed may be get activated. Activated means that is converted into sodium zeolite. Then hardness causing cations may be released into the water sample. Then that you may remove it, you wash it. Then again now the zeolite bed is activated. Here the reaction is showing like this. When the zeolite bed is exhausted, that means when all the sodium ions are exchanged with calcium and magnesium ions, that is called as exhausted zeolite bed. Now you have to activate it for further use, for further utilization. So what you have to do, simply you have to wash with brine solution. So 10% aqueous sodium chloride solution is called as brine solution. So because of that wash, what happened? Then same, here sodium ions are exchanged with calcium or magnesium ions. Then sodium zeolite is going to be produced. Then calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, these are the byproducts. Then they may release into water. You may remove it. At the bottom, the tap is there. You remove it. Then that due to washing of brine solution of sodium chloride, that is converted into activated zeolite. Now again, after washing with brine solution, then again you pass the hard water sample, because the zeolite bed is, the exhausted zeolite bed is activated. The activated zeolite, again it may act as a softening agent. So this is the exhausted zeolite. Now here, see here what is happening. Hard water, sodium zeolites, that is converted into calcium zeolites and magnesium zeolites. So in the resultant water, soft water, sodium ions are there. The anions are there. If calcium chloride is there, chloride may be there in the resultant water. Calcium sulfate is there, sulfates are there in the resultant water, but they does not contribute any hardness. Now calcium zeolite, magnesium zeolites are there. These are the exhausted. Now this exhausted zeolite bed is washed with brine solution. So because of the washing, the calcium zeolites are converted into again sodium zeolites. Now this is the regeneration of exhausted zeolite bed. Regeneration. Now, in the resultant water, calcium, magnesium, chlorides or sulfates may be there. Now when it is regenerated, again, you can use for the further application. These are the regeneration. What are the advantages? Yes, there are number of advantages are there. Hardness is almost completely removed by this method. Equipment is compact, occupies less space. That means simple equipment. Skilled person is not required. Ordinary person also can operate the equipment. Okay. Maintained as well as for operations, less skilled is needed. Then hardness causing ions are simply exchanged by sodium ions. Here, what is the chemistry? The sodium ions which are present in the zeolite are exchanging with hardness causing cations. No new chemistry. Simple chemistry is there. Simply exchange is taking place. So that means this is the very compact and simple procedure. Now, next one. What are the drawbacks are there? Yes, some of the drawbacks, some of the limitations are there. What are those limitations? If the water is turbid water is there, some precipitates are there, fine precipitates are there, then the precipitates may settle down inside the zeolite bed, so that the pores may clogged with precipitates, so filtration may not be occur. It should be free from turbid water. Then pH also should not be high, or otherwise it should not be low. That means the neutral water is suitable for the zeolite bed, because if acidic substances are there, zeolite bed may dissolve in presence of strong acids, or otherwise if basic substances are there, that may also dissolve, or some chemical reaction may take place. Then if heavy metals are there, the heavy metals, once it is exchanged with sodium ions, that means the iron zeolites, manganese zeolites, once they produce, then regeneration cannot be done. Calcium, magnesium ions, regeneration can be done, but with the help of iron and manganese, we cannot do the regeneration. So that is the drawback. That means there should not be any heavy metals. Hot water should not be used, because zeolites may dissolve in that. Acid radicals also should be avoided. So these are the some of the limitations. Okay. Now this is about the zeolite method. Now understood everyone? Have you understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Once again,
Yes, sir.
once again, I think do you have any class now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Do you have
3
class now?
p.m.
Yes, sir. We
Yes,
have
sir.
maths class.
Okay. See, conclusion. Today's class conclusion is simple portion I had covered. What is softening? What are the different types of softening methods? External method and internal method. Then what is external methods? In the external method, there are 3 types are there. Zeolite method, ion exchange method, lime soda process. Now today's class, zeolite method is completed. What are the zeolites? Hydrated sodium aluminosilicates are called as zeolites. Then what is the chemistry involved here? The chemistry is the sodium ions which are presented in the zeolites. They may readily exchange with hardness causing cations. Specifically, I am saying hardness causing cations. If calcium bicarbonate is there, calcium ions are exchanged with sodium ions. But bicarbonates are there in the resultant water. This is also one of the drawback of zeolite method, because hardness causing cations can be removed, but whereas anions cannot be removed. This is also one of the drawbacks. In the limitations, we can write down this point also. Now, next one, after some time, the zeolite bed may be exhausted. So once it is exhausted, it cannot be used for the further purification. What you have to do? You have to stop the purification process. Now you have to wash the exhausted zeolite bed with brine solution. The aqueous 10% sodium chloride solution is called as brine solution. That brine solution, when it is washed with exhausted zeolite, all the hardness causing cations are exchanged with sodium ions which are present in the brine solution, that is sodium chloride. So what happened? The calcium and magnesium ions may be released into the water. Then sodium ions are again fixed to zeolite bed. That means now the exhausted zeolite is activated. Again, this activated zeolite you can use for further application, for further use, for second slot you can use. So this is the zeolite method. What are the advantages? Advantages is very simple. Yes, this process is very compact. That means simple, ordinary person can operate this experiment. and all types of hardness causing cations may be removed. These are the some of the advantages. But whereas what are the drawbacks? Yes, there are some drawbacks are there. Heavy metal ions should be avoided. Then suspended particles should be avoided. Suspended or turbid water should be avoided. Hot water is avoided. Highly acidic or highly basic water is avoided. Then with this process, we could not able to remove the hardness causing anions. If calcium chloride is there, when calcium chloride is passing through the zeolite bed, sodium ions are exchanged with calcium ions. But whereas chloride is there, the chloride will be retained in the water sample as a chloride ion. So this is one of the drawback. If calcium sulfate is there, calcium ion may exchange with sodium ions, but the sulfate is there, anion SO4 -2. That sulfate ions may be there in the resultant water sample. So this is the one of the drawback. So this is about the zeolite method. Understood, everyone? Please reply.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
especially zeolite method. You can ask any type of question. Yes, please. You can ask.
So questions will come from your notes only.
Yes. See, please attend my class. But that's it.
Yes, sir.
Not required to open any external sources. Simply sit in my class. You would be getting all the contents, all the material. Yes, I am going to share the PPT. Don't worry. Srishti Singh, I am going to share the PPT. Don't worry. See, today, as it is the first class, it's slightly slow. But next class onwards, I may try little bit faster. So
Sir,
please
you
attend my
seem to-
class. If you miss my class, you can understand. Okay, you attend 2 or 3 classes, then don't attend next 2 or 3 classes. Then you can attend what is the importance of my class. I'm not going to comment any others. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Speak loudly.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute, I'm taking the attendance. At 27 CSE, why he is here? 027 Shashank. You are supposed to be there. Why are you sitting here?
Sir, I have to change that to 093.
Alright, 91, Saurabh Kumar, Sajal Darsena. What is this 91? Both of your roll number is 91.
Yes, sir. Sir, combined students are there in the class
No.
From-
Huh?
from CSC and IT or Meta. All
Hey,
are
okay. Then how to take the attendance, man? It is very tough job to maintain the attendance. Okay, it's okay. I'm going to find out some new method how to maintain the attendance. Don't worry. How to deal these things. Okay. Okay, it's okay. Bye. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir.